Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty, and I'm back reviewing something else twice in a day, simply because I'm feeling better today and actually able to concentrate on more than one comic book at a time. So today, we're going to take a good look at Gotham City Sirens. And this is one that I'm aware of culturally, I'm aware it exists, but I've never read any of it. And it kind of ties into some stuff that I've been criticised for before, so let's take a little moment to address that. I don't ever avoid comics because they are purely femme. I avoid some comic books because as I was into comic books, in fact, most of the time I've been into comic books, femme team comic books seem to be sold in a variety of things. Number one, it has been a box-ticking exercise by a corporation to have something there for the girls, or it's been there so the guys have something to look at. Very much a look at it, guys, look at them. And I don't particularly feel like either of those are great reasons for comic books to exist. I feel like if you're going to write a comic book, it should be universally, or as close to universally enjoyable as possible. And I feel like selling it down by basically saying, oh, it's just one for the ladies, or it's just one for the guys because they like boobs, neither of those are actually good enough reasons to creatively engage with something. Don't get me wrong, I do like boobies, but I don't use them as a motive to engage with art. It's just not the way I'm wired, unfortunately. But, because times are changing, and different people get involved in this stuff, I was like, yeah, let's give one a go. And Leah Williams is writing Gotham City Sirens. I like Leah Williams, so I'm like, yeah, okay, let's see what happens here. So I open it up, and it turns out there's a bunch of shirtless cowboys riding horses through Gotham City chasing somebody, and I'm like, whoa. I wasn't sure what to expect from this comic book, but if you had to make me list top 10 things I wasn't expecting, I might be on there. It threw me, but in an entertaining way, captivated me, made me want to pay more attention to it, which I'm guessing is kind of what you want from the first few pages of a comic book. If it's just a couple people sitting around not doing much, sharing a coffee but not enjoying their coffees, I'd be really bored by it. Topless cowboys for no good reason, yes, I'm into it. And then later on we have Harley Quinn turn up with her hyenas, always entertaining. And we get people on quad bikes chasing bison with rifles, and Harley's a bit annoyed by this because, well, why wouldn't you be? And we find out there's way more going on. I don't want to get too much into the why-fors and what is actually going on here. I think it's actually worth reading the comic book to find this out, because it is a damn intriguing idea. We also get introduction to the rest of the Birds of Prey, White Rabbit, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy. And I was a bit worried about Ivy. This ties in a little bit with what I was saying before about how women are represented sometimes in comic books, but mostly because G. Willow Wilson's representation has been absolutely spectacular. She has been, Ivy has been dressed in stuff which is far more practical, more than anything else. But when she needs to, she brings on the devouring nature god that will absolutely destroy you and everything you've ever cared for while not caring about you at all. And she looks exactly like you needed to for doing that. And I was a bit again, going through that thing that I've had in my head for a while, being like, oh, I hope they do that justice. And they do. The closer we get to any kind of sexualized costume is Catwoman's. But the people who've been doing Catwoman for the past few years have been, really engaged with what they're doing with that character. And it all comes together and makes an awful lot of sense for the way she looks. And I'm like, yeah, cannot argue with any of that. So I found myself then being like, right, okay, stop worrying about that stuff. Stop worrying about the big overarching kind of issues you've got. Let's look at the comic book on its own merit, and it is good. As I was saying, there's a lot of stuff I'm not going to tell you about the story, but it's really well done. I feel like there's maybe some continuity I'm missing in terms of an energy drink, but it's so well written that part of me thinks that it might actually just be this drink exists in the DC universe, and it's already some problematic plot device that's been used for other comic books, but it also might be they've just created it for this, but have written it so well that it feels like it's been part of the world for a long time. And that is just brilliant writing in itself. Writing-wise, it also has fantastic dialogue. Harley walking into a lab and shouting, "Babe! Babe!" Really, really like that. And the twist at the end, really, really well done. It also looks amazing. Is it Loli? Loli in the artwork? Yeah. It's quite a fine line, detail-wise. There's not... sorry, I meant fine line as in actually the fineness of the line of the artwork, rather than being too heavy-handed. And that means quite a lot of the depth for it comes through the colouring. But the colouring is fantastic. It's very, very chaotic energy to it. But that's fine. I feel like the chaotic queer energy of the entire comic book is working quite well for it. Also avoids an awful lot of gradiated colour blocks, which I like because I feel that makes it look far too more digital, far less organic, and less like people actually care about it, and feels like they're just using block copy-paste colour kind of things. There's a few moments where I think the highlighting is done over much compared to what the light I expected in the scene. And there's also a moment where I think the letterer has actually done a sign in universe, which gives it a strange, almost liminal kind of it doesn't belong there kind of vibe to it. I'm used to onomatopoeias, and oh my god, the onomatopoeia in here is fantastic. There's a splurf I've never seen a splurf before. It's fantastic. Worked perfectly for what was going on. Overall, yes, a couple of minor little quibbles in terms of presentation, but other than that, I'm going to say really well written, fantastic comic book idea, and it looks really cool. So yeah, why not give it a shot? As for that, yeah, go for it. I'm going to go and read some more comic books, and you'll get more reviews. Make sure you do the social media things to get miss out on it. Until then, look after yourself, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.